Welcome everybody, welcome to Flat Earth Philosophy. Everything's flat earth and it's all based on ancient philosophy. It comes from religion, all the ancient philosophical stories told by people like, well, if they are people, Homer, Plato. Even Pythagoras knew the earth was flat, but somehow they've warped his information, I think, just like Newton. They all know it. And it's all told, and I'm just researching what we know of Homer and what he knew of the earth, and whether it was flat or whatever. So basically I've found something, I've created a video and I've put it out there. There's 35 out there, 35 people have the USB stick of the video, and it's mind-blowing. If you've been following me, you might have got a grasp on how the earth works by now, but everything I've been saying in dribs and drabs, because you can't get that in one video, and see my reading glasses, 1 second. I've tried to explain it over the last few years how the earth works, and it's blowing me away too, the information I'm coming up with, and it's all buried, like I say, in ancient philosophy, religion, all sorts. And I finally got my hand, like I've been doing these videos for 2 years, close to 3 years I suppose, 2.5 years anyway. And way back, about a year ago, I cracked it, unbeknownst to me as well. But the thing is, Homer has described exactly what I've been showing. And we're thousands of years apart. They try to make out Homer came around 800 AD or whatever they say, this side of zero. But this information in the Iliad and Odyssey, it's thousands of years old. And what you have to realise is Greek, the original word Greek means the enlightened one. And all science and philosophy has all come from the enlightened people. That's why we know things. You open the mind up, and they receive, because they get a higher frequency than the average person who hasn't woken up yet. And all our knowledge has come through these wise men. They were called Greeks, but now we just come to think that Greeks are just a race of people, a few years back. But no, it's just like Jerusalem. It's not a place on earth. Jerusalem is here, the holy place inside here, going up to Jerusalem, going up the mountain. It's all within you as a man. I'm about to read something here. Before we get into it, we'll just run over a few things here. So this is the Earth model. Southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere, the tropical gap. You can't say science doesn't understand the tropical gap when they know all about induction motors. Magnetic induction motors have this gap that creates the EMF. We've heard Nigel Cheese talk about the north and south poles up here. But basically there's no poles, it's just basically a weak force and a strong force. There'll always be a weak force and a strong force to keep the circuit going. And this is what you have. And it creates this scalar wave up through the middle. Go research your physics or science and electrical engineering or whatever with two parallel wires. The magnetic field, what's happening? They don't actually tell you, I don't think they know properly, because even with electrical wire they show you the electrical current, wave this way and perpendicular is the magnetic field, but they're not telling you it's basically a helix flowing up the wire. That's what it is. The power's not actually in the wire, it's in that helix, the field around it. And this is what we're getting in here. You're getting a scalar wave type thing coming up through here. And like I've said before, the Great Pyramid is this solid earthly design of this non-physical world that we're seeing here. Like we can't see the magnetic field, can we? Can't see electrical current in the air, electromagnetic field, you can't see it. But the pyramid, what's happening in there is doing the same thing. It's wide based from the Earth's magnetic field, the negative field, coming to a point to absorb the atmosphere positive field, and the magic's created inside the pyramid. So they can't deny this gap. They can't be that dumb to not know what the tropical gap is for. Nigel Cheese is known for like more than 30 years, and they've shut him down. So that's the shape of the Earth. Look, funny how Apple has something similar to that for their logo, don't they? Understanding everything comes out of here. All the energy, the dark energy, whatever they want to call it, the toroidal field, the ether, everything comes out of the centre Earth. Okay? And it works in this dual system. I've shown you plenty of times how it works. But the stars are different. They're just a reflection, an image from here to there. A parabolic image. So you've got the magnetic field separate to the holographic images of the stars, but they're still flowing in their same motions because it's all governed back here. They wind up and go back down. This is what they're doing every 24 hours. No, sorry. That's what the moon's doing over the month. It spirals up to full moon and spirals back down to the sun. The planets are all with that, but I won't go into that. But the stars, they're forming, it's because of this shape, the toroidal field, we get the curving magnetic fields and all this out here like this, because it's all spiralling out of the centre. It spirals out, then goes back in type thing. That's why we get a cardanoid effect. Not that you see that either. But you've got to realise the southern hemisphere picture revolves all the way around the northern centre. Revolves as it rotates west, 360 degrees over 24 hours. There's always an image out south. Looking from the northern hemisphere, left and right are flipped. These are these stars. Just check out my last video. From the south you'll see them like this, looking north. This is your southern horizon over your head. Looking north you'll see a little bit of the northern horizon low on the horizon. The placement of the stars are like this. But if you're looking from the north, that'll all be above your head. You'll see south in the lower horizon out south. These stars will be flipped. Now, just going over what Homer's got here, and I found some sites and I'll show you in a minute. And it goes into time dilation. What's time dilation? The field expansion. I've explained that. That's why they make you think you live on a ball. They say it's all coming back in to create a ball, but no, the field is expanding. So you're getting there quicker. That's all about time dilation, the field expansion, which is related to special relativity. Special relativity is man's dome of horizon, arc of horizon. Yes, his own arc of horizon, all relative to the observer. I'm going to show you some stuff on this phone here, that I've just found. Now, so I'm trying to find out what Homer, so I went searching for what actually society knows about Homer and what he's been stating, so they can't come back and say, make up stories about we knew this or we knew that. Because if it's not online, you can't find it anywhere. They didn't know it. And they can't say I plagiarised because I've done the videos One's at least a year old, I think. And I've just bought the Homer, the Odyssey and the Iliad in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Just up at the local warehouse they call it. And I've only spent a few days reading it, and it's just blown my mind. I know exactly what he's talking about. And like I say, the Greeks, the philosophers, they're the chosen ones. You see, it's going to go into another video, and I'm going to read it, and it's the one. There's only one person. Everybody gets enlightened, but there's only one divine enlightenment, and that's the whole Jesus story. And someone's talking about this story here, which basically goes back to God gave his one and only Son to save the world. In other words, he's come to inform the rest of the world. He knows it all. He's going to tell them. That's his job. He's the one and only who can do it. All the other enlightened people, through their zodiac system, get bits and pieces and works according to their works. But there's only one divine man who knows it all, and this tells you all about it. So, shall I rush into that or go back? I might just go back and show you give you a bit of information on what I've found here. Determining Earths. So, go find this. Go online and try and find that. That's interesting. That's quite a bit of a science involved with it. Don't be fooled by the globe BS, but you'll find they'll start talking about this stuff here. This is my stuff, but you have to relate it to this. Makes sense. It's very interesting, and there's a lot of there's recordings. There's through voice recordings in here talking about things. Very interesting. And so I'm searching for whatever information they think they know, or they're supposed to know, so they don't come back to me later and say, you plagiarised, or we knew this, or we knew that. Something I took a photo of here. In 3000 BC, before Common Era, the Babylonians believed the earth to be shaped like an oyster. Well, it is shaped like an oyster, down and around like this, because it's the magnetic flux. So Santos first showed me that, and he's right. It's shaped like an oyster. Also, there's another shape like that too, but we won't go into that. Much later, 2 Greek philosophers, Thales, whatever you say, Thales, and the poet Homer, 800 BCE, thought the earth was a flat disk. As time passed, various other shapes were proposed, such as a cylinder and a cube. As late as the 16th century, the earth was described by Christopher Columbus as a roundish pear. That's all garbage. But Homer knows, trust me. All the ancient philosophers knew, because I found it in all this detail. I thought Plato's dialogues was a buzz. This is the ultimate. And the Christian story, I always forget that name, which is right here. The Desire of Ages described it all. And what Homer tells us here, well, they should all go, it's all connected. The story I'm about to tell, which will probably go into the next video, is related to King Arthur. Because initially, a lot of this information came to the King Arthur story as well. So, it's all very interesting, if you can hang in there. Now I've lost my page. Oh, here we go. So we've got this. We'll go back to the camera. Another screenshot I took here. Homer, little is known of him beyond the fact that he was the name attached in antiquity by the Greeks themselves, to the poems, that there was an epic poet called Homer, and that he played the primary part in the shaping the Iliad and the Odyssey. So much may be said to be probable. If this assumption is accepted, then Homer must assuredly be one of the greatest of the world's literary artists, because he's basically writing the word of God, because he is the chosen one. And he is. Because what he's writing has been around for millions of years. So whether they find it and think it's came around 800 years or not, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. The fact is, what he talks of is known since Earth began, and Earth's been here forever. It's part of the story I'm going to read in the next video. I am of flesh and bone, though my mission stands beyond most men. I come as a chosen protector of knowledge and wisdom, an engineer of enlightenment, such that a great darkness may not befall the future of all mankind. Once again, he's the chosen one. God gave his only begotten Son to come down and save the world. So, I haven't read this yet, but I'm just wondering if actually this is Homer, because I've only just come across Homer by grabbing this one book with the Iliad and the Odyssey. He might have other writings, I don't know, but maybe this is part TK4, I don't know. Or this is someone else spilling the beans, but I'm going to read it out. But it's all detailed here, so bear with me. Check out how much time we got here. I've got 6 minutes left, so I'll start reading it. Now this is when I'm searching Homer. The flat earthers, part 3, Homer, Alexander of Macedon, is it? They don't say Macedon, it's Macedon or something or other. And Greek philosophy 1, science. Just loading. So that's what pops up. This thing here. It's got this. And what are they showing you? The ball is. Go check it out yourself. Sculptures of gods and men joined in a stoic observance of the stranger from another time. You could say Tesla came from another time. Arriving with the same luminous flash and soundless thunder, TK4 promptly gathered himself with a burning sense of purpose and conviction, instinctively sought out the horizon. Though his view was dominated by the rows upon rows of magnificent marble columns that surrounded him, sculptures of gods and men joined in a stoic observance of the stranger from another time. In the serenity of the setting, TK4 failed to acknowledge he was not alone in his moment of quiet contemplation. With a bolt of light so brilliant, I'd have expected Zeus himself. Are you a mortal man? TK4 spun to face his inquisitor. I am of flesh and bone, though my mission stands beyond most men. I come as a chosen protector of knowledge and wisdom, an engineer of enlightenment, such that a great darkness may not befall the future of all mankind. The stranger eyed TK4 with a calculating look, observing no immediate threat. He stood at ease and offered his own introduction in reply. I am Alexander of Macedon, ruler of the vast empire, conquered by my own hand. Most would consider my mission to unite the lands of the known world beyond the power of men. But I appear to have proven myself more than up to the challenge. What risk now of an age of darkness then? I, Alexander the Great, student of Aristotle himself, stands here before you. So that's the Alexander story, but basically, what does he say? Ruler of a vast empire, conquered by my own hand. So it's basically telling you from within yourself. Most would consider my mission to unite the land, uniting, you have to unite the male and female, the duality to come back to the singular force within yourself. And that's the Egyptian story, uniting North Egypt with Southern Egypt, which is all BS. It's all man's spiritual. It's not to do with that. Consider my mission to unite the lands of the known world beyond the power of men, because it's an internal spiritual thing. But I appear to have proven myself more than up to the challenge. He's done it. What risk now of an age of darkness then I have? He's come out of darkness into the light. Alexander the Great, student of Aristotle. TK4 hesitated, grabbing together the ancient text in his possession, hoping his momentary loss for words would not compromise the little time he had to complete his mission. My name is TK4. I am a traveller to this time and place from the years ahead. My opportunity to share my story is short, but if you will listen to my teachings, I bring the promise of great knowledge and wisdom for you to share with your people. Alexander scoffed. What do you know of this world and our people? We, Greeks, have given birth to science and philosophy. We Greeks, because the Greeks are the wise ones. They have been enlightened. They know everything. Everything we know on earth has come from this divine enlightenment. Your pineal gland, it comes out of the water. It seeks frequencies beyond the common man. It seeks knowledge that's out there. It's already out there. Nothing is new under the sun. We Greeks have given birth to science and philosophy. Our thinkers are renowned across the empire and will be celebrated for ages to come. These scientists you know today know nothing. They're just parrots. They've come from school, the varsities, where their senior parrots have parroted to them. They go out and parrot that, but they've never come up with anything.